Hello, we are live, YouTube. Welcome to the number 2 show, the only talk show on a toilet for you on a toilet. We're practically touching knees right now. If you're listening on or watching on your phone, just think about that. What's a more intimate way to get to know your host than to sit on the pot with them? What's up, all you Rafe heads, you shitmongers, you poop pirates? Welcome to the number 2 show live on YouTube. We're going to have some fun today, doing a little poopery, going through the glory hole and having a lot of fun together. And I hope that you're ready to have fun with me. Call 818-532-1420, and that will flash on the screen here soon. I promise you, 818-532-1420. I'll be taking live calls. You can leave me a message. If you get in the queue, just hold tight. I'll bring you on the air when the time is right. But we're going to talk about summer today. I've decided. Memorial Day just happened. We had a short week, and I feel like Memorial Day is kind of the unofficial kickoff of summer. I feel like graduations have happened. Everybody's getting out of college and high school, and it is officially summer vacation. So if you give me a call, we can talk about whatever you want, just as long as it's interesting. Don't call and blabber about and waste everyone's time, because that's boring as fuck, and nobody wants to watch that. No offense, but you know the deal. I'm doing entertainment here, people. So give me a call at 818-532-1420, and let's talk about summer. Maybe something you're excited about. Maybe something you dread about summer. Maybe just something that people never thought about summer. We're going to be talking about summer fun in the sun or out of the sun. Some people don't like the sun. Me personally, once it gets too hot, I'm an indoor cat. I'm inside, my brother. Unless I'm in a pool, which isn't fun because I'm a little bit of a chunky monkey, and I usually have my T-shirt on. Nobody likes to see that. So I'm most likely going to be an inside cat unless I get ripped and get swole, which you never know. This could be the year. I said this 2024 is going to be my get hot year, so we'll see. And we'll talk about getting hot, because one of the trends that I definitely want to talk about is this. Hold on one second. Let me get in here so I can see you guys in the chat in case you're adding anything of value in the chat. I don't want to miss out on that. That's the one thing I forgot to do before we went live, but you know what? That's the name of the game. You go live, sometimes you get burned. All right, so far, just people saying first and second, and that's okay. All interaction is good interaction, guys. Thank you so much. Let's talk about this. Someone asked me to take my shirt off. I will. In the pool, I will. On here, I will not. I mean, I got down to my underwear this year at Riz Show Live. I'm not shy by any stretch of the imagination. I get weirded out in public pools, though. I'm not a big fan of the... Love going to a friend's house. Love a private pool. Love me a good, hey, my buddy's got a nice in-ground pool. It's a few friends, and we're all hanging out, and I don't have to meet strangers. I don't have anybody's weird little kids doing cannonballs off the side. I love that. Don't get me wrong. I'm all in on that all summer. But I get weirded out at public pools, like lazy rivers and things of that nature. They seem fun on the surface, but I'm like, I'm floating through all of your little crotch fruit piss. They're just pissing in there. Those kids ain't getting out, man. You kidding me? Did you ever get out of the pool when you were a kid? Did you ever even think to get out of the pool to pee? You wanted to get every second you could in that pool. Every second. Not once in my life did I ever consider as a child getting out of a pool, walking wet to the locker room, peeing in a urinal, missing out on up to 4 minutes of fun with my friends. Hell no, dude. I just slowly tread water away from everyone, and you test. They try to tell you, the water is going to turn purple. Water's going to change color. Everyone's going to know you're a pee-pee monster. That's not true. That's not true, except I did see some videos on YouTube, which is, let's see if we can find one of those. I did see some videos on YouTube one time of a resort, an adult resort, that actually did add that dye, and people got busted at the swim-up pool just pissing all over each other. Pee in pool turns color, swim-up bar. Let's see what happens. This could get me canceled. Who knows? Let's see if there's any. I don't see anything definitive. All right, let's see what we got here. Can we get that up there?
Vacation pro tip. Do not hang out in the pool where the swim-up bar is. There was literally intoxicated guests admitting that they were peeing in the pool here. Vacation pro tip. Do not hang out in the pool where
admitting it's not the same as getting busted. Well, I don't know. That's the majesty and the mystery of TikTok is you see stuff and then when you want to watch it, you can't find it anywhere. But either way, I'm not a big public pool guy, mostly because, you're just in there with strangers and parents, people from all walks of life. I'm trying to relax. You know what I mean? I don't have to watch my P's and Q's and try to figure out like, oh, who's this person like camping out next to me? There's some lady yelling at her kids. There's lifeguards, telling kids not to run. Like I'm out on that. Now you got a backyard. You got a nice patio. You want to invite me and the gal over? We'll come hang. We'll come grill some pork steaks, dude. I won't come empty-handed. I'll bring some tater salad, whatever. I'll bring a six-pack of Coors Light that I won't even drink because I don't drink, but I'll bring it for you because I'm a good guest. And then I will swim in your pool, and I won't pee in your pool if it's a private pool. I'll do you the courtesy. I'll get up, and I will walk to your little basement. I'll walk to your little cold-ass basement. You're going to a friend's house, swim in their pool, and it's the middle of July, and you're wet, and their house is freezing cold, and you got to walk to that everybody's got that little basement bathroom that's like painted coral green because it's the pool bathroom. It's got seashells up on the side. You guys know, you've all been, it's got nautical shit. It's probably got like the little nautical stars or maybe a picture of a ship in it for some reason. That's cool. I'll walk through the cold to get to that bathroom if you invite me to your private pool because I'm a good guest and I won't pee in your private pool. And I won't get in the public pool because I know you're all pissing in it. It's just a big pee-pee pond. We all know it. There's no reason to lie about it. Let's see what's people talking about. We'll get to the chat in a minute. There's some good stuff in here. One thing I want to talk about summer, something that pissed me off this week. Another thing going into summer. Apparently, little did I know that it is the summer. This is going to piss me off. The rodent boyfriend or rat boy summer trend. Let's talk about that. Normally, I would feel good. I found out from two close friends of mine this week on the sister companion show of the show, the Rizzuto show, the morning show I do here in St. Louis, that there's apparently it's going to be a thing this summer called Rat Boy Summer. And I go, what the hell does that mean? And they're like, well, there's certain actors on this list. Okay. Now, normally, I get told I look like Jeremy Allen White a lot, which is great. I look like an off-brand Wish version of the guy from The Bear and Shameless. And you know what? Ladies are loving him. That's an okay comparison. A lot of times it's not that friendly. A lot of times people tell me I look like usually starts with no offense, but you look like, and that always hurts your feelings. But they say it anyway because people are stupid. But there was a list. It had very handsome guys on it. They're like Jeremy Allen White, Ryan Gosling, Timothy Chalamet, Walton Goggins, who I love in Fallout. What a great show. Great company to be in. The two dudes that are in this new movie with Zendaya. I don't remember the name of the movie. But apparently, Tom Hiddleston, the guy that plays Loki. Tom Hiddleston, sorry. These all sound like great compliments, great guys to get compared to until you find out that list is a list that is compiled of rodent-faced men, which apparently I have. It's a very nice way. The rodent boyfriend is a very nice way of calling somebody a rat-faced piece of shit. And that's pretty much what happened to me this week. So it's Rat Boy Summer, so I guess I'm going to embrace it, dude. I'm going to get out there and get me some cheese. Go out there and get me a little bit of, I'm going to root around. I'll be like that rat in Charlotte's Web. Remember that guy? Yeah, when he goes to the carnival, he's like, it's a smorgasbord of this and that. Let's pull that up. The rat song from Charlotte's Web. That's going to be me this summer. I don't know if we can even play this on YouTube, but guess what? Don't care. Doing it anyway. Here we go. Templeton, I believe, was the name.
Rogue emotions have taken over Riley's mind.
One day we'll be able to afford YouTube without ads, but right now things aren't good at Hubbard Radio. So here we go. Let's skip it. This is me, everybody. This is Rafe Boy Summer.
The goose was right.
There I am.
This fair is a rat's paradise.
That's right.
Bye-bye, my humble Wilbur. Fare thee well, Charlotte, you old schemer.
This is me saying bye
This
to
will be
Riz
a
and
night
Learn
to
and everybody from my
remember.
show. Here we go. Let's do a little ditty. This is me sorting through all sorts of horny ladies.
There is a veritable smorgasbord, after the crowds have ceased. Each night when the lights go out, it can be found on the ground all around. Oh, what a rat-play feast.
I don't know why the sound went way down on this. Probably because YouTube's trying to get flagged. This is me at your private pool this summer, having a good time, bringing my own snacks, just having a rat boy summer. I'm going to go to state fairs. I'm going to ride the tilt-a-whirl. I'm going to ride that little, the thing with the rocking cars. But watch your girl, because I might fuck your girl. That's how that goes. Yeah, I'm in a relationship, but I've already talked to my partner, and I said, listen, Tina, I love you, and she knows it's true. I do love her. But I go, this may be my only chance. I don't know how long this trend is going to last, but it's the summer of the rat-faced man. You got to let me go out there and crush some puss. And she was totally okay with it. And I don't know, I might explore dudes too. Who knows? I might get carried away in this rat boy summer. I might discover a part of myself I didn't even know existed. And you know what? I'm open to it. Now that looks more like me now that he's gained a little bit of weight there. All right, Templeton. Anyways, you guys get the gist of it. It pissed me off. It hurt my feelings. But then I went home and I did a little searching, and I go, you know what? There's no point in getting upset about stuff. All you got to do is lean in. Just accept it, you know, because confidence is what's sexy. So this summer, if you don't have your summer bod going on, that's what this is all leading up to, guys. I want to talk about summertime. That's why I want to talk about shirts in the pool. That's why I want to talk about rat boy summer, even though it's nice to get compared to the likes of Gosling and Chalamet and Walton Goggins. I love him. Tom Hiddleston played Hank Williams in the Hank Williams biopic. What an honor. Jeremy Allen White, love that guy. Great actor. Cool dude. He's got piercing blue eyes, just like yours truly. Punch in on these blue eyes, Zane. Give me the close-up. Look at these. Look at these. You kidding me? Come on. Now, I'm not saying I'm the most handsome guy in the world, but these are an asset, okay? And I know it, and you know it. So deal with that. That's what's going to happen. The blue-eyed rat is coming out, and I'm the nastiest rat in the shit house, y'all. I'm coming out hard all summer. I got permission from my lady to just do whatever I want this summer. It's going to get wild, and I'll bring her into it. I want her to have fun, too. You know, she's bi-curious. Who knows what'll happen? Life's crazy. But I'm saying we only get so many summers, you know? You ever think about that? If you break your seasons down, if you're in, let's just say you're over the age of 25, okay? You basically got 25 summers to make it hot. Because after 50, you know, maybe, I don't know, modern science is doing a lot. Let's say 35 summers. But if you really break that down, that's not a ton of time. That's 60 months, right? That's 60 months of your life. That is what you normally sign up to buy a car and sign on to do. And that's what you end up with. You end up with 60 months of your life to make summer the best you can possibly make it. You don't think about that when you're a kid, you know, because you're like, well, what does that matter? I got all the time in the world. Well, you don't. So whether it's rat boy summer or fat boy summer, whatever you are, if you got a muffin top and you're a gal, you know what? I think there should be a body positivity anthem called Beer Guts and Muffin Tops, because I think you want a lover who's appreciative, grateful, and giving. Get you a guy with a beer gut or a girl with a muffin top. You heard it here first. They're going to love you down the right way. That's a guarantee. Let's start taking some calls if we can. If anybody has anything to add, 818-532-1420. That's 818-532-1420.
Take a break, right?
And we're going to take some calls after we take this short break, assuming I have calls. If not, I will read some messages that were left for me. So let's take a quick break, and I'll be right back.
Coming back.
All right. That was a word from our sponsors, and our sponsors is Rat Boy Summer. Victor Mousetraps. Until we get good sponsors, I'm going to make them up. This show is sponsored by Charmin Toilet Paper, Dude Wipes, and Victor Mousetraps. Trap yourself a hot rodent-faced man this summer with Victor Mousetraps. That's right. Catch you a little hot Timothy Chalamet by his little vestigial tail and make love poolside all summer long. All right. Let me see if I got any calls here. I don't see any coming in yet. So what I will do is we will do a message section. A lot of people have called in and left me some messages, and we'll see what we get. First, let me go to the chat. Somebody said, swamp ass sucks. That's what I dread about summer. Dude, I can't agree with you more. The pilot episode of this show was about swamp ass last year, and it is not good. The sweaty taint is the worst feeling in the world. And I don't like to wear shorts. Everybody knows this about me. I'm not a big shorts man. So sometimes when you put on jeans in the summer, you pay the piper, dude. By the end of the day, my jeans weigh like 17 or 18 pounds because they're just soaked in sweat and swamp ass. And it's not pleasant. You peel them off at night. It's not pleasant. You know, I saw a girl, one of my friends was wearing leather pants at Point Fest, and it was like 95 degrees outside, and I was like, my God, the inside of those things got to stink so bad. You're just polluting it with sweat, taint, vag, asshole, every bad part of you that's getting too hot, overheating, and conducting the kind of electricity nobody wants to use is just getting in those leather pants. So I agree with you, man. Swamp ass is the downside of summer. But, you know, that's what they made air conditioning for. So that's cool.
Got one caller.
Got a caller in the queue. Let's go and talk to this. Host Room Live. I hope that's the right button. I haven't done this in a while. Hello, you're live on the number 2 show. We're talking summer or whatever the hell else you want to talk about. Who am I talking to and what can I do for you?
This is Anthony. Got a bit of a long one here for you, and I just wanted to kind of get a fresh perspective on it.
All right. Well, don't make it too long. Just get me to the bullet points, Anthony. I trust you.
I'll try to keep it. I'll try to keep it tight.
You got it, brother.
So basically, long story short, me and my best friend, been best friends since we were 7 years old or so. Mm-hmm. You know, greatest guy in the world. Huge relationships built up between us, but basically, like I said, long story short, after a breakup that he had with an ex-girlfriend, several years passed by, ended up running into her again. We fell in love, got married. So this was a big deal, big stress on our relationship, but it's now getting to the point where I feel I'm a little more comfortable reaching out to him again and kind of building up a lot of the closeness that we had before. We're still good friends. He was the best man at my wedding, but I can sense that he's still got some resentment about the situation. And I was just wondering, how can I kind of address that in a way that's not going to just kind of dig up old wounds and be like, hey, can we, you know, kind of get back to what we were before this?
Okay, let me suss this out real quick because I was a little confused and I think I pieced it together. He dated a gal, they broke up, you ran into her, and you married her. Not him, right?
Yes.
He didn't get back. You basically married his ex-girlfriend. Okay. How long did he date her for?
A semester in college.
Okay, so this wasn't like a long-term. This wasn't like he was with this girl for 8 years. It was more of like they dated briefly.
No.
How old are you, man, if you don't mind me asking?
27.
27. All right. So you're pretty young. This is great, man. Honestly, there's two ways to look at this, okay? Yes, there is the kind of tired, played out bro code thing. And I get that, man. Like, there's all these women in the world. Why you got to date one of my exes type situation? And that's true. And maybe there's like, I'm sure, was he really broken up over this gal? Or is this more just like...
Yeah, it seemed like it.
Okay. How long was the time period between the breakup and you running back into her?
2 years.
Okay. To me, I think there should be a statute of limitations on this. Okay? Like, I understand the broke code. I do. If it was like, oh, you snaked this girl, they broke up, and then 5 minutes later, a month goes by, you guys are dating, and he's like, what the fuck? Were you planning this the whole time? But clearly, this relationship didn't start while he was in a relationship with her. This relationship is something that the universe brought back into your life 2 years later. You ran into her organically, I'm assuming, right? You weren't like talking to her. You didn't like seek her out?
No, we both got jobs in not even the same city, but an hour away from each other.
Okay.
Went to the same event at one point and hung out. Yeah.
To me, man, it doesn't get more organic than that. And, the heart wants what it wants, man. If you got lightning, if lightning strikes with somebody, then it strikes. And you gotta, love is love, man. And you loved her enough to marry her. It's not like, you married her within a month, that must be real sparks, my man.
No. I didn't marry her within a month. We just started hanging out within a month, and I married her after 2 years.
Oh, okay. I started to say, it sounded like you married her in a month, and I'm like, sounds like you were in love, baby. Well, I'll tell you what, Anthony.
No.
Dude, to me, it's like this. Here's how I would approach it with him. Because let's get down to the brass tacks here, because that's what you're really asking is like, how do you, and he was your best man in the wedding to her?
Yes. And he's been very outwardly
cool.
Outwardly he'll come to events. I can ask him to, come to a party or something, but it's just that he seems like it still bothers him to the point that we can't really have a relationship anymore. And if the answer is that, well, you're just never going to have the same relationship, that's fine. I just been waiting to ask your opinion on it.
Yeah, man, that's tough because when feelings like that get involved, sometimes relationships do change, and it's very, very hard. I've gone through something like this, and if you love him and he's your friend, and that was pretty big of him to be your best man, honestly. Pretty baller move on his part to be like, hey, man, I ain't taking this personal. I still want to be there for your big day. I get where it could be weird, but honestly, it could be weird for you too. Like if you think about it, no offense, your best friend banged your wife. Now it was before you. I'm assuming they had sex. Yeah. Maybe they didn't. So it's like you have to if you're not weirded out by that, then I don't think he should be weirded out that you ended up marrying a girl that he briefly dated. So maybe, there's ways to frame it that way to be, maybe make a joke out of it. I think the lighter you go into it, not that you should make a joke of the whole situation, but I think if you go in there lighthearted and be like, dude, I love you. I don't want things to be weird. I'm sensing that you don't feel totally comfortable around us. And how can I help you get there? Like, what do you need from me? And come in from an attitude of like, you're there to listen. You're there to give him an opportunity to air his grievances, and you got a good leg to stand on here. It was 2 years. You're like, dude, the thought never crossed my mind when you guys were dating. It wasn't even like that. It wasn't like I had a crush on her and I was like stowing away these feelings. It's just like we ran into each other, we hit it off, and We're at a different phase in life. And you guys are young, man. Like, think about, like, high school, right? So I went to a small school. I dated a lot of the same girls my friends dated. It usually got weird for a while and would be fine, right? Because, like, you get older and you realize, like, oh, yeah, there are a lot of fish in the sea, but at the same time, you don't meet everyone in the world. A lot of times your dating pool is proximity. A lot of times your dating pool is people you know, people you've met. Even though we live in a weird, like, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge world, you know, a lot of those apps are hookup apps. And, like, you met someone in person, hit it off, had chemistry, got married. I think if you give him an opportunity to air his grievances and don't get defensive and be like, yo, fuck you. You know, if he wants to be like, yeah, man, it's just kind of fucked up. Like, it's weird for me to come to your house and be like, oh, I've slept with this woman. I've dated this woman. I had feelings for this woman at one point in my life, even though it was a couple years ago. And can I ask you, is he single now or is he with somebody?
He's with somebody.
So that should make it easier, right? If he's in a relationship with someone else. Now, I get the hurt of it, of maybe he feels hurt like his friend. Maybe he feels like a little bit of betrayal on your part. I don't know that he is justified to feel that way. So that might make it hard. Do you feel like it's hard for you to swallow that because you don't feel like you did anything wrong?
Yeah, and there were a couple steps in there as well. You know, I did pose the question to him before I started dating her and whatnot. And I guess I feel like it's a little unjustified, but I also think that, you know, he's a pretty level-headed guy in general. And if he's feeling something, then he has the right to feel that way.
Well, I mean, dude, that even strengthens your case more to me. Like, if you went to him first and you're like, hey, I'm interested. I know you guys dated a couple years ago, you know, and he gave you the green light. He wasn't like, well, it makes me feel weird. He's like, yeah, dude, go for it.
Yeah, that is what happened.
Great. Yeah, I feel like you had a good leg to stand on. What I'm guessing is, if I had to guess, and I am guessing, I am not a professional. It's probably hard to watch someone you dated marry someone you know and not feel even later on like that's a rejection of you as a person, right? Because whether he actually had strong enough feelings to marry her or not, they clearly broke up. I'm assuming she broke up with him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because otherwise, if he broke up with her, I don't know why he would ever care. So he was broken up with by this person who now has chosen his best friend as a life partner. So that could make him feel inadequate. Whether he's holding a personal grudge against you, there might be some feelings of inadequacy of like, well, what's wrong with me? This guy's my best friend. We get along. Why was he good enough and I wasn't? You know, like there might be some like mental chess he's playing with himself in his head that don't really have anything to do with her per se. It doesn't have anything to do with like having feelings for your wife or harboring like still carrying a torch for her or being pissed at you about the situation. It might just be something that makes him feel insecure. So I think if you go in there with the right attitude, you try to have fun with it and don't get defensive. And if he wants to, you know, take it on the chin a little bit if you feel like that's what he needs to get out of his system, and maybe some of those feelings will come out. Because I don't think dudes talk about that stuff. No dudes want to talk about their insecurities. No dudes want to talk about feeling like they're second banana. But it's happened to all of us, man. I've had my friends marry. I had a friend marry a girl I dated. And they're cool. We're still friends. I love them. It didn't work out between she and I. It was kind of a mutual breakup, made it a little earlier. And it was a couple years later when they dated. So it's like, I don't have any ill will towards that guy. I don't wish them a bad marriage or anything like that. I've had feelings for girls that my friends dated and had to like suss that out of like, what's okay? What's the bro code here? Do I go to him? Does it matter? What's the timeline to where I don't need to get permission anymore? I think that you pretty much crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's in the friend contract as far as asking his permission beforehand. Good amount of time went by. This seems like a thing you guys can get through, especially if he was in your wedding. So I would just Does he live in your neighborhood? Like, is he close by?
He's Kansas City.
Where do you live, St. Louis?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Maybe make it a point to be like,
Anyway.
maybe it's a boys' weekend, and just be like, hey, dude, I want to come to KC and hang out. And then just it's definitely a conversation I think you should have in person, because you can learn a lot more by, when you see somebody's facial reaction or how they feel about it. And, maybe tell them you want to come. Be like, hey, dude, I want to come hang out, and I want to talk about something that I want to clear the air. Like, don't ambush him with it. Let him know you're coming. Let him know it's going to be lighthearted and it's not going to be heavy. And because it is tough, man. I went through something like this where, once it's also weird to not have it aired out. You know what I mean? Like, if someone knows there's feelings involved, but you're not really talking about it, it does create an awkward, weird thing. And sometimes, people can put unfair boundaries on you. Like, I feel like you did your due diligence, and maybe he's putting like unfair boundaries onto you or something like that because of shit that's going on in his life that has nothing to do with you. So at least if nothing else, you'll get that monkey off your back to be like, oh, this doesn't have anything to do with me and my relationship with her. This just has to do with the way he feels about himself. And then if you're a friend, you coach him through that and you tell him he's a good dude and you get everything worked out. But that's my advice, man. I think it sounds like you guys got a good relationship. It sounds like you care about this dude a lot. So, go mend the fences, brother.
All right, will do. Thank you very much. I apologize for dropping a big topic like that.
No, this is what I want. This is great. This is
while.
totally fine. It's totally fine. And maybe talk to your wife first. Maybe they can bang one more time as like a, as some sort of be like, hey, man, would it help if you guys just one freebie and we're all cool and everybody's even? Okay, that was terrible advice. Don't do that. Unless you guys are into it, in which case maybe do a threesome with your best friend, and then, you know what? Then it's all good. I'm always a proponent of that. I'm always a proponent. There's nothing in a male-on-male friendship that a good Eiffel Tower can't solve, Anthony. But if that's not in your playbook, do the first thing I said. Good talking to you, buddy. I'm dropping the call. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
See you, bud. What a great call. What a great, uh-oh. Got to drop it. Sorry, I'm figuring out how to use my... What a great call, man. That's a tough situation to be in, man. But that happens more often, I think. I know so many people who have ended up, like friends of mine that I'm like, oh, not necessarily wife or husband swapped, but like boyfriend swapped. We were just talking about that today, like Shania Twain and some lady swapped husbands, and they seem happy about it. Sometimes there's also something to be said, if you're still watching, like I would want, if I cared about somebody, deep down, if I get over my own ego, if I cared about, my partner and we broke up, and they dated somebody that I liked, that I thought was a good dude, that I thought was a solid human being, like, in the grand scheme of humanity, that's a good thing, you don't want necessarily, if it's an ex you care about, and it's not somebody that did you dirty, or like completely did you wrong, or you think they're a horrible person, if it's a person you liked and you loved, and it just didn't work out, I would want them to be with somebody that I respect and admire. I got two friends that don't talk right now. They don't talk much. They're getting better. One of my friends married another friend of mine's ex. And they had a kid together, and he married her, and he's great stepdad, has had another child with this woman. They've been married for 15 years probably or something like that. And I'm like, my other friend was, he didn't take it well at first, but I'm like, dude, I get the like betrayal thing, but on a longer timeline, your kid's got to be around this guy. Like, at least that the kid's stepdad is a solid dude who goes to work every day, treats your kid right, doesn't talk shit about you, pays his bills, chips in, co-parents, He's never going to bust your balls about seeing your kid because he's your friend too. Like, there's some benefits in that, you know? I'm not saying it's easy to get over, like watching your ex be with a friend of yours, but I think that if you look at it from take your ego out of it and look at it from that standpoint, that, you know, there's some benefits to that, man. I would want my kids to be around someone I thought was cool than having to make friends with some dorky stepdad with like a fucking braided belt on and like a fanny pack at a game instead of one of my bros. I'd rather hang out with my bro at a Little League game, wouldn't you? Think about it. Let's go to the chat and see if anybody's in here. Since it's summer and people think that's the only time to grill and barbecue, when you get your pork steaks, where do you get them from and how do you like to cook them? Gas, charcoal? That's not even a question, Mike B. Charcoal, dude. All day, every day. Charcoal's always better. Gas if you're in a pinch. I like to go to a place, man, there's a meat store in Edwardsville, Illinois. I know that that's very, very local. But I like to go to a butcher shop. I don't like to go to a supermarket. Go to a butcher shop where all they do is cut meat and ask them to cut you a pork steak or a pork shoulder. If you're not from St. Louis, they don't even know what a pork steak is anywhere else in the country. Have them cut you a pork shoulder. You marinate it with Worcestershire sauce, okay? A little bit of vinegar. You put it in a bag. You let it marinate. Maybe get you a little homemade Montreal steak seasoning. Put a little dry rub on it. Cook it dry. You don't have to slather it in barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce is a side for the pork steak. You heard it here first. Do it all summer long. Okay. And when someone says no disrespect, someone's about to get disrespected. That is 100% true, dude. Like, that's the old, like, don't take this the wrong way, no disrespect, and what's the third one? Don't take this the wrong way, no disrespect, and no offense are about to be taken the wrong way, disrespected, and really fucking offensive. So if you say no offense, stop right there and leave. If you say don't take this the wrong way, also leave. If you say, shit, what was the third one? Oh, no disrespect. You already being disrespectful, dude. Get the fuck out of my face with that shit. Somebody wrote Master Splinter. Fuck you, dude. That's funny. Rat boy getting the cheddar. Yeah. All right. Let's sit with the chat. See what else you guys got. Anything good before I get to the emails and comments in the next section? I want to go through the chat here. Got a lot of swamp ass talk. Someone says dick move for dating the best friend's ex when they were serious, but doesn't hurt to reach out. I disagree with that, man. I don't think a semester is serious. I think that the guy that called, he was well within his rights. And I don't think we have 818-532-1420. Call if you want to chat again. I'm going to take a break. We're going to get to messages and comments. If somebody wants to call in, I'll take one more phone call in the next segment. Hold tight for a word from our sponsor, Victor Mousetraps, sponsoring Rat Boy Summer.
Coming back.
And we are back at the live number 2 show. Thanks to everybody for joining me here today. We're going to get to the messages and comments section of today's number 2 daily talk show here at the talk show at Command Center Stall number 2 in the number 2 show studios, where I have everything I need: a baby changing station, a plant, my little coffee cup. Look, it's not real. It actually goes like this. Isn't that cute? Let's get to this. This is a message from last week. Rafe, I live near Mount Vernon in the southern Illinois region, so this is going to be very specific to that area. Work takes me all over the place, often to Carbondale, Marion, McCandon, neck of the woods, and everywhere between and around. You always give great sandwich recommendations in STL, but what are some spots in the hometown region you'd recommend? Thanks. Well, first of all, bruh, there's a Taco John's in Marion, so don't sleep on TJ's. It's good. In Carbondale, there's, I don't know if they're still open, Quattro's Pizza was always a staple. There was Booby's Sandwiches. It's a good sandwich recommendation. That's also in Carbondale. Let me think here. McCand, I got nothing for you because that is a very small little hippie town. I'm pretty sure they just eat crystals. I don't know what they even eat there. I think they eat like quinoa with like some sort of quartz crystal sprinkled on top because they're fucking hippies down there. And that's fine, but that's not your bag. Don't go to Macanda to eat. Go to Macanda to party. There is a little place, I will tell you this. Down in Vienna, Illinois, I used to go scuba diving in a rock quarry down there. It's pretty cool. They got like, it's very clear water, and they've got, all sorts of, they sunk a school bus and a biplane, and there's the 747 that was used in filming the movie U.S. Marshals with Wesley Snipes and Tommy Lee Jones. And they sunk it in this like 150-foot deep rock quarry. And I used to go down there in Vienna and scuba diving. It was cool because you could like swim and see where Wesley Snipes and Tommy Lee Jones signed the wing of the plane. It's just the fuselage of the plane because they used it as a movie prop for a plane crash, but it was cool. And I went to this stinky little diner called Ned's Shed. Ned's Shed. And I'm not going to tell you that the food was great, but it was an old school burger joint where you walked in, the guy's like smoking a cigarette with an ash a mile long. There's deer heads on the wall with the bent arrow that killed the deer draped across the antlers. It looks like no one's even tried to clean up the grease there since like 1961. It's caked all over the walls. The guy had stains. They might have been stains from a murder he committed the night before. There was blood and stains all over his white apron with his little white chef's hat, like Mel from that old show Alice. And dude, that guy was smoking a cig, never lost an ash, cooked me up some burgers. And the thing I liked about Ned's Shed, it's a good experience, you should go check it out, is that they had a slaw bar, slaw burgers. I don't know if you're familiar. It's bigger in Kentucky, but you get down there in Southern Illinois, it's really northern Kentucky. And they had like all sorts of different slaws you could add to the burger, whether it was like creamy or vinegar coleslaw. There was a bunch of cool stuff. And it was just a cool experience. I'm not going to tell you that it's the best burger I ever had, but it was an experience worth having. So if you get down there in Southern Illinois, check out Ned's Shed.
Yeah, one more caller.
Ooh, I got a caller. Let's take a little call and see what goes down here. Hello, caller. You are live with the number 2 show. Comments, messages section. What can I do for you today, and who am I talking to?
Hey, Rafe. This is Hank.
Hank, what up, brother?
Hey, I've been listening to the number 2 show for a while, and I finally, over this weekend, got a predicament I want to ask you about, or your advice about.
Okay, I love doling out advice. I love doling out my unprofessional opinion. What do you got, bro?
So I am one of 9 kids. I have 5 sisters, 3 brothers.
All right, where are you at in the lineup? Let's start there.
I'm right in the middle. I'm Malcolm.
Were you 5?
It's yeah, right in the middle, 5.
All right.
It's nice being in the middle. You can kind of do your own thing. But
Okay.
The youngest is 19. Believe it or not, the oldest is 50.
50 to 19, somebody's dad be fucking. All right. Cool.
This is true.
Sorry to put that in your head.
So
Try to
the
continue.
youngest, 19. Oh, I've unfortunately thought about it. So the youngest is 19. It's my sister, and
Okay.
you know, being the youngest of 9, she gets away with a lot
Yeah,
of stuff.
that's the ultimate
And
baby of the
she
family.
Just got out. Yeah, exactly. She just got out in the world, and you know, she's dating guys. I met some of these, you know, crypto punks, I like to call them, because every one of them I met said they were into crypto.
Yeah.
So it's all these other 19-year-old, 20-year-old guys. And over the Memorial Day weekend, I was out at my parents' house, and she wasn't there. And I asked my mom where she was,
Okay.
and she said she's out with her new boyfriend. And I was like, okay. She's like, I told her boyfriend that he could come over anytime he wants, but he hasn't taken me up on the offer. And I know nothing about this. Because, again, there's 9 of us, so I don't hear all the gossip.
Right.
And then I learn this guy is my age, 32 years old.
Mm.
So again, when she was born, I was 14 years old. Elder is a baby of 14, and now I hear she's dating a guy my age. And that's all I could think about while I was out there on Memorial Day weekend. I don't know what there is something wrong with that. I don't know what's wrong with it. Obviously, everything's legal here, but there's something that doesn't feel right about it. And I did say to my mom, I'm like, do not bring this guy over here, because I don't know what I'll say to him. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Well, it's more, yeah. I mean,
can I ask you this, dude? Do you think it's?
I don't know, man.
Because that's not that huge. I mean, it is a big age gap, but people all have different opinions about this, about what's appropriate, what's not, age gaps, what they should be. You know, I think it's tough. I wonder, does it bother you? Because there's something about it could be a mental thing to me, man, where I'm like, does it bother you that her age still ends in teen? Do you know what I mean? Like, she's 19. If she was 20, would you feel the same way? If she was like 20 and the guy was 33, does that change things for you? Is there something about still technically being in your teens, or does the age gap, or does it bother you that the guy's your age?
It bothers me the guy is my age, and it's not like it's 5 years. It's not like it's 10 years. It's 13, 14 years older.
Sure.
You know,
yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but there's a certain type of guy I think that is going out with 19-year-olds at 32.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't want to, I can't quite put my finger on what type of guy it is, but I feel like it's someone who is, she just got out of high school. She's still, you know, crashing her first vehicle, you know.
Oh, she just got out of high school last year?
And
how'd they meet?
Yes. She works at I don't want to get too much into it. She works at a place that facilitates dogs, and she met him as a customer there.
Okay, so they don't work together.
And again, I have not met this dude. So I am doing the judge the book by its cover, but there's something I don't feel like would go right if I met him. I feel like, honestly, I feel like I would just go to him and go, dude, what are you doing? What are we doing here? What's going on?
Yeah, and maybe that's okay, and maybe he'd have a good answer for you. You know, maybe that would help. Like,
I don't feel like the answer would be good.
Yeah, well, it doesn't sound like you.
I know guys. We all know guys.
Right. Well, yeah, that's true. I wonder. I don't have a sister, man, so this is hard for me to answer. Like, do dudes just get mad when anybody sexualizes their sister? Or is it because you just don't like to think about that, and then the fact that the guy's your age makes it even weirder? Or is it like...
Well, it's the fact that he's my age. I have 4 other sisters besides her. 2 are younger than me, 3 are older than me, and I've seen them all go out with guys. And you know, it's the big age gap, because again, she was bringing around these 20-year-old guys, which were, you know, some of them were nice, some of them were dinguses, I like to say. And
you hated all those guys too. They were crypto guys. You said you wanted to beat the shit out of them for being all crypto dorks.
One guy acted like he had $1 million, but he was really making fake IDs.
Right.
He acted like he made $1 million in Bitcoin.
Right.
But anyways, it's you know, but they're all growing together. I don't know what you have in common with a 19-year-old 32. That's the kind of thing I think about.
Yeah,
like,
that's true, man.
About? What are you doing? What is your prime directive?
She's hot.
And that's what I'm afraid. I know what it is. Exactly.
Well, what's your sister like? Is your sister immature? Is she mature for her age? She is the baby of a family with
very.
It seems like somebody from a family that would have...
Unfortunately, very immature.
Oh, she is? All right. Well, I don't know, man. That's a tough one, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe you talk to her first. Meet the guy. I would want to meet the guy. I would want to at least feel him out and see what his deal is. Is he like divorced, have kids?
Right. Exactly. We don't know anything because she's...
Keeping it arm's distance.
She's kind of keeping on the down low. She's told my mom, and I think for obvious reasons, she hasn't told anyone else.
Can I ask a question? It's going to be tough to answer.
This guy shouldn't be worried about me.
Huh?
I said, this guy shouldn't worry about me. It's my dad. That's why.
Oh, Dad, you think Dad's going to kill him?
Oh, my God.
How old's your dad? If you got a 50-year-old
I don't think he's going to kill him. My dad is someone that will My dad should have been a stand-up comedian. He was someone that will just beat him down with words.
Nice. How old is your dad?
72.
Woo! Damn, brother. He's spreading that. I mean,
Right.
talking about a fertile man. Good Lord. I don't know, man. It's tough because I think as time goes by, that becomes less of an issue. You know, there's a big age gap between me and my partner, Tina. We've been together a while, but I started dating her in her mid-20s, you know, and I was in my 30s. And she, you know,
Yeah.
it just depends on the person. She also, like, was in heroin rehab when she was 15 and talks like a 65-year-old trucker. So it's like I feel like old guys always try to justify dating younger women by, like, she's got an old soul, man. But I'm like, literally, I feel like a 65-year-old over-the-road trucker that drives like a Peterbilt across country lives inside of my girlfriend. So, and we also had a lot in common. You know, we did comedy together. We were friends for a long time first. It wasn't like I walked into a place and, you know, hit on a girl that was way, way younger than me. But there's times that I felt weird about it. There's times I felt weird about it in my relationship where I was like, you know, because you always feel weird when there's like an age gap like that. I think something over, I don't know if it's 10 years or 5 years or where you start to feel like, but then I see people in good relationships like that too. So I don't know, man. It's tough. If the guy's treating your sister all right, he's being respectful. It is still kind of weird, and I understand where you're coming from.
I mean, that's all I can hope for. That he's just.
This could also be.
And I feel like it might be a flash in the pan.
That's would be what I'm wondering, man. Is this just like? I'm not saying you did say she was the baby, and I'm not trying to like cast dispersions on your sister not knowing her, but it's like, you know, girls sometimes have little daddy issues, and they date older men or they try it out, especially if they, you know, I don't know what her relationship is with her dad, but you know, a lot of times, you know, you got to think like her.
I mean, we each got half a day to hang out with him. There's 9 of us. What do you expect?
Well, and think about that.
He could have us on a schedule.
Yeah, and think about that, you know, like don't put all the blame on the dude. Granted, he is the 30-year-old seasoned adult. There could be something going on, you know. Hell, your dad was 50 when she was a baby, which means she had like kind of an elderly father, right? So maybe there's like, I think that girls seek out certain attributes of their fathers. And maybe there's something going on where she's like, well, I'm used to being around older people. My siblings are older. My father I had an elderly father. Like maybe there's something in her brain that's like, this feels more normal to me than dating these 20-year-old crypto dudes who are full of shit, trying to act like millionaires and they're total little dorks. I get where you're coming from as a brother, that you want to strangle the fuck out of this guy. I'd say talk to her first.
Yeah.
And be like, what's the attraction?
Yeah.
What are you feeling? Like, I'm trying to be, and try to be cool about it. Don't be an asshole. Like, be like, I'm not judging you. What's going on? Is this just a thing? Is this a fling? Is there something like, what do you guys have in common? And maybe she can enlighten you. And if not, go to the source and then talk to them and be like, and if she's like, I don't know, he's cool, then you can be like, all right, I'm going to go beat the shit out of this guy. Go talk to the dude and be like, hey, man.
I feel like.
Go ahead.
I'm going to sit him down. I'll have note cards. It'll be like a talk show. Be like, all right, I got some questions for you.
Yeah, bring him on this show,
if I
dude.
ever meet him.
Get the guy. You and him come in here. I'll put you on opposite stalls of me, and I will, and we'll get to the bottom of it together. I'll be the mediator. I'll be your Dr. Phil. And if it ends in a fist
How
fight,
messed up would it be?
We're going viral, bud. Look, I'll put you in each of these stalls.
If we became friends.
Yeah, what if that happens, man? You never know. You're like, you might meet him and be like, you know what? Dave's pretty cool, actually. He's got a boat. He's got a lot of stuff going for him. What if you met this guy? It's Dave. I've named him Dave for this bit. What if you met this guy and he was the coolest dude ever? Like, you want to be best friends with this guy, and all of a sudden your whole attitude about Dave changes, and you're like telling your sister, like, hey, Dave's good. She tries to break up with him, and you're trying to keep him together. You're like, you know, Dave's doing well. He's got a He's got a house at Lake of the Ozarks. He's willing to let us use in the summer. He's got a boat. He actually he's got a timeshare in Boca Raton. Dave's kind of got his shit together, and I like Dave. Dave took me to the Molly Hatchet concert, got us backstage. I got to meet the drummer from Molly Hatchet. You know what, sis? Dave's all right. That would
I'll
be
marry Dave. That's what will happen.
You marry Dave, yeah. I don't know, man. That's my advice. Talk to sister first. Try to protect this guy from your dad until it's the last resort. And then, and then if worst case scenario, if you don't like the guy, feign a friendship with him. Make him feel comfortable to come to a family function and just let your dad eviscerate him,
Yeah, I guess, it's still a process. I just processed this over the weekend. But, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to try to be level-headed about it.
Because here's the other thing, man, and I'll leave it at this. I got a brother that's 10 years younger than me. I know I've had this conversation with one of my co-hosts on the Rizzuto Show, Learn. Her sister's 14 years younger than her, so it's right where you guys are at. You're kind of like not ever in the same phase of life at the same time, right? Like, I love my little brother, but I was getting into girls when he was, like, starting to form memories, right? I was interested in ladies when his brain came online, and he's like, I like Blue's Clues. So then it's like I'm going to college while he's getting into Ninja Turtles. We were never in the same phase of life, and when you're an elder sibling, you kind of become a ad hoc parent. You kind of become a secondary father and or mother to that person because you're a caregiver. They're so little, and sometimes it's hard for us to see them any other way. Like, she is 19. She did just get out of high school. I'm not saying she's full grown, but she is an adult, and maybe if you go and talk to her and treat her like one, you can get the answers you need from her. Because it took me a long time. Me and my brother, I had to stop acting like his dad at some point for us to get closer. Because I had an issue with him where I was always trying to, like, dole out fatherly advice. Because our dad walked out when he was 10 years old. We didn't really have a relationship, so I kind of took on that role. And sometimes he didn't need me to be the dad. He needed me just to be a cool dude that he could hang out with and a brother. And it took me a while to get that through my thick fucking skull and to start. My brother was like a good dude. He was like gone to college. He was working. He had a wife. He had a kid. And I'm still talking to him like he's 10 years old, asking to play, asking to get in the pickup basketball game with me and my buddies at the park. So, keep that in the back of your head too, man. Like, the same way you've got preconceived notions about the guy, you also have preconceived notions about your sister, just because that's probably been ingrained in the relationship over the years, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and I was trying to think if I had a 19-year-old brother and he was dating a 32-year-old woman, I don't know.
I don't think you care.
But I don't know.
I honestly don't think you care. You'd probably be like, hell yeah, brother. And that's the thing. That's the double standard, right? Like, and I don't know what's right or wrong. I don't know what's right or wrong. I know that, I would just go through the sister, treat her like an adult, and see what happens. Thanks for calling in, man. I'm going to drop the call, brother. Good talking to you, man.
Bye.
See you, Hank. All right. Well, I took another call. That was nice. Let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsors, Victor Mousetraps, Rat Boy Summer, and I'll be right back to wrap my hand in toilet paper and wrap this turd up for you.
Coming back.
Welcome back to the number 2 talk show with Dr. Rafe Williams, Pork Steak PhD. The P stands for pork. We had a pretty good show today, man. This was actually really fun. Good callers, good thoughtful calls for us to sort out some real advice and kind of figure out what was going on in people's lives. We got one guy, a lot of relationship stuff today, which I like. We got one guy who's married to a friend's ex who needs to sort it out. And we got another guy who needs to make best friends with his 19-year-old sister's 33-year-old boyfriend so he can go to Lake of the Ozarks and stay in the lake house all summer. A lot going on in the love lives of people and relationships. And you got to nurture and love people and take care of your relationships, guys, whatever they are, whether it's parental, sibling, friendships. It takes work, it takes effort, and it takes understanding and community. And most of all, when in doubt, Just party with them, and everything will be okay. We had a good show today. We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about summer plans, what summer means to you, how much swamp ass sucks, and how this summer is Year of the Rat-Faced Man. Good news for me. Rat Boy Summer. Until next time, this little rat, the nastiest rat in the shit house, will be rooting around all summer long trying to get lots of kisses from the girls because my partner said I could. Till next time, always wrap your hand and don't forget to wipe. I'll see you on the next episode of the Number 2 Show.